Hello, darlings. On this show, we are talking about productivity versus being busy and how you can live intentionally being productive. Good morning, darlings, and welcome to Wake Up and Show Up Live. I am your host. This is a daily show giving you a daily dose of inspiration and empowerment and taking our lives off of autopilot. Listen. Happy Monday. I'm so excited to see you, Val. Thank you so much for joining, darling. How are you? Also want to know, where are you guys staying at home from? Let me know in the comments. Where are you watching this broadcast from? Where do you watch the show from? And I hope you are staying at home. As always, we always want to give gratitude. We want to have gratitude. We can find gratitude, a reason to be grateful and thankful, and even the smallest slither of hope. And so today I am just grateful for the breath in my lungs. Literally, I am just so grateful to be alive, to have my limbs, to be at peace. I am grateful for that. So you guys, let me know in the comments what you are grateful for. Jasmine, thank you so much for joining, darling. How are you? You guys know how we do on here is that as we get into the comments, as we get into the content, you guys, if it's something that I'm saying or somebody in the comments is saying, you know what we say? Hello, darling. That means you are speaking to me. You are speaking my language. You are saying something that means something to me. So if we say anything, if your friends in the comment, our community in the comments are saying something, hello, darling. Hello, darling. So I'm super excited. What are you all grateful for today? What are you grateful for? Let us know in the comments. We all have one thing that we can be grateful for. And sometimes when you say what you're grateful for, you help somebody out that may be having a rough time and thinking about what could I be grateful for? And so hearing that, it can inspire somebody else. So you guys, I want to make sure that we stay in communication. We are super excited because we are able to communicate with you, and you can do that by text. And if you text the phrase wake up to 31996, that's wake up to 31996, you'll be alerted when we go live. I don't send a text message every day we go live. So I want to put that out because I don't want to inundate you, but you do receive a couple of messages a week. We send you some inspiration and empowerment. Also, we do this through email too. So every week we try to send you out some inspiration, some encouragement, some tools to take your life off autopilot. And so if you want to stay in contact with us, you can do that by texting the phrase wake up to 31996. So you guys, hey mom, thank you so much for joining, darling. So how is everybody doing? How was your weekend? You guys, I want to thank you so much because on Sundays, you guys absolutely show up for our COVID-19 weekly update. And I'm so grateful for that. So grateful for each and every one of you. So you guys, let us get into the show. Today's show is really talking about productivity versus being busy, and how can us being productive help us to live intentionally, to have more time with the ones we love, doing what we love, living how we want. And so I think it's so important because, listen, I will be the first to raise my hand and tell you that I am a busy person. And a couple of months ago, even before all of this happened, I am one of those people that even in the midst of this, I can fill up a calendar. I know how to be busy. And so for me, when I think about productivity, I think about doing the things that are in line with what's important to me, right? So if it's at my job, if it's my career, my business, whatever it is, if it's life, those things that I am doing that are going to add value to me. Busy means I have a lot on my plate, but it's necessarily not always adding value. Now, granted, some of us are busy. We have a lot at work. We have big projects. Believe me, I understand that. But oftentimes, and I want to say this because when I was looking up just the definitions, I have my own definitions that I live by. But one of the definitions of busy was having a great deal to do, which is very true. But there was a second definition that said keep occupied. And I feel like a large number of us are in the second definition of keeping occupied, that we just want to find something to do because somehow we have turned busy into meaning successful, busy into meaning I'm important, busy into meaning that if I'm busy, I'm productive. And it does not always translate that way. And so I really want to talk about it, especially as we have people working from home, doing all kind of things from home, how easy it is to get busy, even when we don't have anywhere to go, rather than being productive and making sure that you're doing the things that serve you, that serve your family, that serve your purpose, that serve your intentions. And I think when I think about productivity, I really think that this is a way that we can be so intentional, like really developing those habits, really developing that intentional muscle is through productivity. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about was, we're going to jump right in, is Rena said, that's me. I know it. That's me too. I can fill up my calendar. But we're really going to talk about what that looks like and making sure that we have the bandwidth for the things that mean so much to us. How many of us have said, I'm going to go to the party, I'll go to this, I'll go to that, and the day comes and you're like, why did I put my word out there? One of the things that we try to stand by is our word. And so it's like, man, I done put my word out there. And so me and my husband always make a joke and say, here we go, being ensnared by the words of our mouth, because now we've put it out there and we want to show up for those people. And so oftentimes, it's just us being busy. So number one is we're going to wake up. What does that mean? I know. We're going to wake up. It means that I'm going to establish my morning rhythm. Why didn't I use routine? It's the same thing, but rhythm really speaks to your individuality. And so what makes sense to me may not make sense to you for your morning rhythm, but I absolutely believe that we all need stillness, that it's the same as we all need sleep. So whether or not, maybe you work at night, and so maybe your morning rhythm is different because you're getting up in the afternoon, but what it is carving out some intentional time to be still, to take care of you, to determine how you want your day to work out, how you want your day to be. There are certain days that I wake up and I'm like, I just want to be crabby. Like, you just feel like you want to be crabby. It is in this time, it is that morning rhythm that aligns me to my true self. Do I really want to be crabby? Do I really want that? Oftentimes we've heard this saying, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. What does that mean? That means that you woke up, and the way that you woke up has now carried throughout the day. And so how many of us would love to go through the day with a decision that we made, that I'm going to show up in my day this way, that I am now in control, and the way I woke up on the wrong side of the bed or the way I went to sleep is not going to carry over into my day. I'm going to be intentional about what I want to do. And so the way that we do that is that we have a systematic approach to that. For me, my morning rhythm, it changes because life changes, mornings change, and that's just the way it is. But there is one thing that I have to do each and every morning, and I have to have my prayer. I have to have devotion, and that rhythm looks different because sometimes that devotion is devotion with coffee. Sometimes that devotion is devotion with John and I. Sometimes that devotion is prayer while I'm working out, which was today. And so it's just that I know I need that one thing in my life to get started. You guys let me know, what is the one thing that every morning you absolutely have to do? Like, you have to do this outside of coffee, but the thing that centers you, the thing that you have to go to in order to make sure that your day is aligned with who it is that you are, who you want to show up to be. And so for me, that is prayer. And so everybody's morning looks different, but your morning rhythm should be the thing that really speaks to you. So maybe it's your intentions, maybe it's your declaration, maybe it's yoga, maybe it's meditation. And if you've never, ever had a morning routine, listen, I recommend that you just do one thing. Because if you try this whole morning routine that, oh, I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock and I'm going to have my prayer, devotion, or meditation. And then at 6 o'clock, I'm going to go and I'm going to do my yoga or I'm going to work out. And then at 7, I'm going to do all of my mantras or all of my declarations. If you've never done it, that's going to be a lot. I ask that or recommend that you do one thing, the power of one to develop this systematic approach to your mornings. And then what does it do? It doesn't just create a habit. It creates a behavior to where it's second nature. When you get up in the morning, it is your inner being to determine how you want to walk out the rest of your day. And so while it may seem strange at first, as you continue to do that, then that becomes who you are. So it's not just a habit, but it is a behavior, meaning I'm going to show up this way. I'm going to show up this way. Hello, darling. I see people saying, hello, darling. Hello, darling. Yes. So Val has prayer and devotion, then FaceTime with her siblings. So that is her morning rhythm. It is a time that you are still, it is a time that you are determining how my day is going to be. So if you've never had a morning rhythm, I suggest that you do one thing, and that's the thing that you keep on going. So even in my phone, I have it set in my calendar, because we're going to talk about schedules, but I have it set in my calendar that I am going to be able to do this. These are my declarations that I'm going to say. It's only 3. It's super quick and I can do it. And so you may say, you know what? I never really meditated or devoted in the morning. I get up, I check email, and I just get going. And so this may be new to you. And so I say, do one thing. Get you a couple of declarations. We're going to be sending out our 5 days of declarations very soon. And so you'll have that. And then you can say, okay, well, maybe for me, it is just sitting still and doing nothing, just being absolutely quiet, absolutely quiet for 5 minutes. That is my morning rhythm. You do that one thing so that it creates a behavior, not just a habit. Number two, thank you. I'm thankful for giving myself opportunities. Love that, Jasmine. Number 2 is I'm going to dress up. I'm going to dress up. So listen to this. I know that we are all at home and we are working from home. And comfort is everything. But listen, I want you to make sure that you wash your face and that you brush your teeth. Sorry, I'm a mom. Hey, it's just what it is. But what I am saying is that we have got to dress up, meaning we have got to get out of our night clothes into whatever clothes we're going to wear for the day. Even if you're changing from your sleeping leggings to your now working leggings, what it does is it sends a signal to the brain to say, hey, I am moving out of my sleep mode. And now it is time for me to be productive. I have to change what it is that I'm wearing that speaks to me. It speaks volumes. I used to work from home even before COVID-19, and even before I started my business, I would work from home 1 or 2 days a week. And when I got on calls, one of the things that I loved to do was put on lipstick, because it symbolized for me. And usually it was red lipstick. If I was in a meeting, you see it all the time. When you see presidents wear red ties, it's symbolic of power. It's symbolic of being in authority and influence. And so whenever I had a meeting or something like that, I put me on some red lipstick, honey, and get on the phone. I'd sit up as if I was there. I wasn't in my bed conducting meetings and things like that. Why? Because I needed to send a signal to my brain that something was shifting, that now I was in a meeting and that this was going to be the thing. So even as we're at home and we're working, it's important that we get out of our night clothes and get into our work clothes, whatever that looks like. Like, come on, I have on a white turtleneck, and yes, it's spring, but I am always cold. Whatever that looks like for you, if you're like, okay, I'm getting out of my bed leggings into my work jogging, whatever it is, whatever that signal is to your brain to change up from just laying around to now being productive. Also, dress up and find a space that is particular, that is specific to you working. And sometimes it changes, right? Some days I am at the bar, at the bar, my bar in my house, not at the bar, but The bar that I have in my kitchen, right? My island. I love to work there. The sunlight comes in. It's a very well lit place. I love being there. Sometimes I'm in my room because my room is my office. Also, sometimes I'm in there. Sometimes I'm outside. But create a space that's going to help you to be productive, to be creative, to have just these creative ideas and insights, even as you're working. Or if you're saying, Portia, I don't work, that is fine. You still need to create a space for you, a space for you to think, a space for you to read, a space for you to do Sudoku, whatever it is, create that space for you. And then make sure that you're getting some sleep so that when you wake up to do your morning routine, you have more energy. You're ready for the next day. Apple has this amazing thing where you can do a bedtime. And so it cuts off all your notifications. For me, I need that because I feel like, oh, if somebody's sending me a notification, I have to answer email. I have to answer the notification. I have to look at it because I'm just that person that has 25 tabs open all the time. One of the things I wanted to get to as I go back, I just want to go back to the wake up thing. If you are like me and you have 25 open tabs all the time in your mind, constantly going, constantly thinking, constantly dreaming, constantly visioning. I mean, there are people like you just have so much stuff going on in your brain. Let me tell you what I do in the morning. What I've given myself permission to do. I've given myself permission that I can write down my thoughts, but I don't act on them during my morning time. It is sacred. It is my rhythm. And as part of my rhythm, I write them down, but I don't act on them because now it's going to take me away from the fact that I'm resting, that I'm easing, that I'm determining my day to now working. So that's just a little tip. But Apple has this bedtime reminder. You can go in, you can set it for like your bedtime and the wake time. And what it does is it cuts off all your notifications. So in the morning, you'll get them, but you won't hear any dinging and pinging. So if you're anything like me, and that really does disrupt your sleep or it disturbs you or you're thinking about what you need to do, go ahead and put that on. A lot of people put their phone away from them or whatever you need to do to make sure that you get a good night's sleep. So that's waking up. That's determining my morning rhythm. I'm a dress up. I'm a change from out of sleeping to now being productive or working, scheduling my space and making sure that I change, right, what I have on. And we may not think it's a big thing, but it actually is. The way that we show up is the way a lot of times that we feel. So even if we're comfortable and we may have on, a sweater or something like that, but it changed from what you had on when you were sleeping. So your body knows that now you're going into a different state, a different understanding, productivity. And then the last one is show up. Show up. Schedule your day. Listen. Schedule your day. Nothing gets away from you like wasted time. And when our days are not scheduled, we have so much wasted time. So for me, I absolutely schedule my day. I'm going to show you guys just today really, really quick so you kind of know what I have going on in my day, just so that you can see. But if you can see that, this is like my Apple. So today is an administrative work day. I have my declaration. I have workout, my wake up and show up live. I have lunch and play. Then from 3 to 5, I'm working on a project. So one of the things for me, Mondays and Fridays. So even like I have an executive producer that helps me. I have a production manager that kind of helps me with some stuff. And on Fridays, we do not work. I work a little bit, but the culture that I have set is that you don't work on Fridays. That is your day. For me, Monday is an administrative day. Why? Because that's the day that I get to think about everything that I want to do for the week. And so the project at the end of the day is something that I'm going to do, but I try not to take any calls. And I know if you're working for another organization, that may not be. But even in my previous position, in my previous career, I would say Mondays, I don't take meetings. But I take meetings any other day during the week. But Mondays, I needed that. It's important that we set up boundaries and we set up parameters, because if not, then when we have parameters, when we have boundaries, people respect that. It's a way for us to set that up so we don't cross the line and other people don't cross the line, right? Within those boundaries of whatever it is. So for me on Mondays, I don't do interviews. I don't take meetings. I mean, it has to be, and now if it's real important, your girl will take a meeting. But for me, that is the standard, is that I'm going to make sure that Mondays are my administrative day. And then I schedule out what I want to do. Do I always stick extremely close to the schedule? I try to, but all the time, no. I have a 6-year-old and a 12-year-old that I am currently their homeschool teacher, and I have everything else going on. So, but scheduling your day, so important. Even if you're saying, Portia, I'm not even going into work, I'm not even doing this. Let me tell you, scheduling your day is still so important. And when you schedule your day, especially for this community that's working in a business that has a lot going on, projectize your schedule. What does that mean? What does that mean to projectize your schedule? That means that I break up my schedule into these 30-minute blocks per project. So for me, on Tuesdays, well, this particular block of time is specific to building out a podcast that I'm developing, right? There was a study done by the American Psychology Association, and they said that after 30 minutes, your attention span starts to decrease. Like you're not even there anymore. So what they do recommend is that you break tasks up or projectize things into 30-minute intervals. And then after that, you take a break. So I have a project on here that you saw, and I have it for 2 hours. But within those 30, I have it in 2 hours, but I break it up into 30-minute intervals. I know it's going to take me about 2 hours to finish everything that I need to do, but I break it up into 30-minute intervals and I take breaks. Sometimes it's a short break. Usually honestly, a couple of minutes. You will be so surprised at how just taking that break brings you back and you can go again. For me, I am a multitasker, you guys. I am a multitasker. So for me, this is so very important because it keeps me locked in and focused on one thing so I get it done. And for all my multitaskers out there, we all feel this way, that we have so much to do, but we never get anything done. Right? Because you have so many open tabs, but you haven't closed any. And so being able to projectize your schedule helps you not only have those tabs open, but to close it, because that's the fun part, is when you have something checked off, when you're closing off that list. So projectize your schedule according to things you have to do. And that project doesn't necessarily have to be a project. So with my kids get up at a certain hour, they work for a certain amount of time, and then they're done for the day. And so I projectize that time. All right, guys, just like now from 12 to 1, they're on a break because I'm doing this. So they're on a break and they know that. Then they go back for another 30 minutes, take a break, another 30 minutes, take a break. So whatever it is that you're doing, you can projectize it. It doesn't have to necessarily be a project, but something, a task that you're working on. Make sure you're breaking it up. You're scheduling those things so you know what you're taking care of. And then the other thing is really taking ownership of whatever it is that you're doing. When we take ownership, especially at work and our business, over our families, we feel so much more. It gives us an initiative for productivity and creativity for innovation. So even for me, being home with my kids and being able to take ownership and saying, this is what we're going to do at this time, having them a schedule, it makes me feel like they're getting their work done. They're getting everything that they need. And I'm able to allocate that time for them because I've allocated that time to them. So if you want to see something, you allocate the time to it so that you can reap the benefits from it. And the other thing is communicate with yourself, meaning, listen, girl, we are going to establish our morning rhythm. We are going to dress up and we are going to show up. And you communicate that. You communicate that with your friends and say, you know what? I got to say no to this. I know it's just a virtual whatever, but The thing about it is it's taking me away from being productive and doing the thing that's important to me, serving my family. And I've said yes to 100 things before yours, so I cannot do it. And saying no is okay, because a lot of times we get stuck in busy because we don't want to say no. And no is okay. It is extremely okay when it comes to what is bringing value to you. And that really is what productivity is doing the things that bring value to me. And so work, however you feel about your work, is bringing value because it's bringing in the paycheck, it is bringing in the benefits, it's bringing in things that you can live a life that you're living. So we don't want to just think that it's, oh, my passion projects. No, but it's being productive in the thing and being excellent at what it is that I'm doing. You're excellent in this area, you'll see excellence in other areas of your life. And that's when you see things flourish. So taking that ownership, communicating that ownership, communicating and letting people know, hey, I need a timeout. That is part of showing up, is making sure that we are communicating, making sure that sometimes we're having these hard conversations, but they're the right conversations to have. And so those are the three things that I wanted to talk about today. Was one, making sure we wake up and establishing that morning rhythm. Number two, making sure we're dressing up, finding a space for us, finding a space that I can be creative, and also making sure that I'm changing my mind from bed to productivity. And then number three is showing up and making sure that we are establishing these routines and these schedules for what we have. I showed you guys my schedule. I showed you guys what it looks like, how to projectize your task. And so that's it. This whole series this week, we are definitely going to be talking about productivity. I don't want you to miss the next couple of days. This really was talking about how to establish that productivity. Why does that make you intentional? Because now you're not just letting your time get away from you. And now you can spend more time with the ones you love, more time doing what you love, and more time living how you want. And so over the course of this particular week, we're going to break down some of your behavior types. We call them archetypes, but some of your behavior roles and the reasons why maybe you are not busy, maybe you're not productive, maybe you're not reaching your goals, and it has to do with those behaviors. And we're going to bring that all together to identify some of those strengths and some of those opportunities and how we can change that so that we are intentionally achieving our goals, intentionally going after the things that we want to go after as it relates to our archetypes or our behavior. So I'm super excited about that. We're all going to identify a goal, an area where we want to be productive and put a plan in place by the power of one this week. So listen, share this broadcast. Make sure that you are sharing this particular series, because I believe that this series is absolutely going to help so many people. I know for me, the reason why I can teach it is because I'm your girl. I'm your girl that is like all over the place. My particular archetype is the perfectionist. So when I get those ideas, it's not always that I want to act on those ideas, but I want to act on the research for those ideas, because the perfectionist is an analyzer who analyzes the analyzing that she's analyzing. So that's one of my archetypes. So I definitely want to talk about that. So you guys share the broadcast. It's been amazing. You guys, as usual, if you want to make sure that you don't miss a day, if you want to make sure that you are in the community and getting all the information that we're doing, text the phrase wake up to 31996. That's wake up to 31996. All this week, we are going to be talking all things productivity. We're going to be talking about how to not only set your goals, but how to achieve your goals by your behavior types. It is going to be amazing. I'm super excited. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you. As always, we will be here tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. We end every single show with this declaration: waking up is automatic, showing up is intentional. Today, I will show up.